This
through
conference will now be recorded.
through collection development, cataloging, archiving of electronic documents, and metadata development for the Wisconsin Digital Archive. So big kudos to all of you for all that you do to make providing government information a possibility in our great state. I also want to extend a great thank you to our 37 designated depository libraries that continue their efforts in highlighting the importance of government information by hosting print collections and providing access to the Wisconsin Digital Archives. But what's really great about having the Wisconsin Digital Archives and so many electronic documents available online is that regardless of your depository status, your library or organization can participate and be involved in this great government information community. So I would really encourage all of you to think about how what we provide access to through the Wisconsin Digital Archives could benefit your patrons. Sorry, I'm a little slow on the clicking here. There we go. So I'm just going to jump right into it. I always give a little bit of overview of statistics about distribution and how the program is changing and who's using, the Wisconsin Digital Archives. But as you can see, we've spent a lot of time over the course of many years trying to really be reflective to meet the needs of how government information in general has changed to a much more electronic format. And we've worked very hard to meet the needs of state agencies and libraries alike to help make those transitions to online access. And we were plugging along quite well. And as you see the trends between the print and the electronic distribution become, further and further apart, boom, we get hit with a global pandemic. And who knew that all of the work that we were doing for the last almost 17 years would really open up our ability to maintain a program that can be responsive, that can meet the needs, ongoing needs of libraries, and to really stay viable. And so I think that we've always been very forward thinking, and we've been able to be adaptive enough to be able to, even in the midst of a global pandemic, um, continue to do the great work that we do. As you see, the statistics as of October 2020, we distributed 13 state documents in January. So, that's what we did. And we had actually seen a decline in the number of distributions. Even last year, there were a couple of months that we didn't receive many print documents. So what we did is we skipped months, but one thing that has remained consistent every single month is that we've always had a rather large distribution of electronic state documents. And that is really because we have so much technology at our fingertips that allows us to work from home and maintain that consistency and continue on with this great work. So there are going to be some changes in response to COVID-19, and some of that has to do with distribution. I've been working from home now since March. I haven't been back into Resources for Libraries and Lifelong Learning since then. I plan on going in for 2 brief moments in December to see what has arrived on my doorstep with regard to print, and to put together a print distribution that hopefully will be ready to go out in January. So I've been having discussions with our regional depository libraries, the Legislative Reference Bureau and the Wisconsin Historical Society, and we're working together to really begin to analyze how maybe monthly print distributions are just not a thing anymore. And from talking to other libraries actually across the United States, many states have already transitioned to either quarterly or biannual distribution. So I'm going to go in and kind of see what's there, continue to work out logistics with the depository libraries and with our regional depository libraries who maintain so much of our larger print collections. And of course, work with state agencies as well, because they are very much struggling finding enough money to continue to print some of the things that we're used to receiving in print. And they're also under constraints logistically as far as even getting print jobs done. So don't worry, I will keep everybody in the loop and continue to solicit feedback, and we will make those transitions this next year and do things that I believe will make sense for the Wisconsin Document Depository Program. Now, as far as electronic, we've been working from home and it's mostly been uninterrupted. We've been having a really a great amount of time to get some of our larger compound objects made and some of our backlog of larger projects done. We've distributed about 2,300 electronic state documents so far, and by distributing, I mean the catalog records are finalized, so they're ready to upload into OPACs. We're not going to distribute catalog records that haven't been reviewed by Eileen at historical and assigned WEDOC numbers. So there is a discrepancy as far as what we've distributed and what's actually in the collection. So definitely the current, the latest and the greatest will always be available in the collection. So the use statistics are very, very interesting, and I'm happy to report that as of the end of October, we're actually up several thousand sessions, Google Analytics calls them. So who's to say what we'll capture in November and December, but I'm really happy to see that use of the collection in and of itself is up. Again, this is pretty consistent. People are coming to the collection directly from URLs from electronic catalog records and OPACs and Google searches. So they're not necessarily saying, you know, I'm going to go to the Wisconsin Digital Archives and start searching. Somehow they end up there and then they start using the collection. So there's another statistic that I'm trying to capture that shows, once they come in, are they return users? Are they new users? But what I'm getting from preliminary analysis is that once they find the collection, they do come back. And it's just interesting use analytics that we get to review that Google can provide. And then where are people coming in from? I almost kind of feel like a stalker when I look at this one. And it's very fascinating because it's what you would expect in Wisconsin as far as, depository libraries, specifically those that are including the catalog records in their OPACs. Those are the cities that are predominantly, people are coming in through, but we also have strategic locations throughout the United States, bigger metropolitan areas, and some international, which isn't completely surprising because we do have several ways that discovery layers on a national level that people can come into our collection as well. One is the GovDocs Roundtable affiliate that I participate in, and on their webpage, they highlight all of the various state document collections across the United States. They're gradually filling those in, and the Wisconsin Digital Archives is one of those on their webpage. Recollection Wisconsin crawls our metadata on a quarterly basis, I believe, and that feeds into then access also through the Digital Public Library of America. I will say that I've included links in this PowerPoint. I'm not going to go out because it would take too much time, but I'm hoping that this presentation can be shared and then you can have access to those links as well. So there are going to be some collection changes this last year. We changed our persistent URL format and per OCLC. The worldcat.org URLs will continue to work indefinitely until I hear otherwise, but I've been working with depository libraries to get catalog records updated. And basically what happens is instead of, if you're a familiar user, in a serial, you come to that kind of weird interim screen that lists out all the various serials that might be under like a newsletter. It takes you directly, instead of that interim screen, directly into the collection, so you actually know where you are and where you're going. We added a COVID-19 Wisconsin quick link on the homepage. And as we get more and more things that are relevant to that topic, we tag it with a subject heading so that it comes up under the quick link. And we're going to be from here forward adding more legislative documents. So we're trying to get all three branches of government covered. Um, Coming in 2021, OCLC provides us access to content. DM is our tool that we use. They limit the number of facets to 5. They're going to increase that to 10 so that when people come in, they can begin to narrow their searches by branch of government. And that's going to be really important, especially when we start adding more legislative documents. So ways that the government document community can help promote and expand access to the Wisconsin Digital Archives is regardless of depository library status. There are monthly electronic document distribution lists that list all of the fully cataloged documents that are new to the collection, OCLC numbers, the persistent URLs. We make it really easy for you to go through and decide, what if not all state documents you want to add to your OPAC. Um, and then certainly we are encouraging any and all libraries and organizations to add links to the Wisconsin Digital Archives to their electronic resources webpage or their library webpage, wherever they deem most appropriate. There are online outreach materials and branding logos to help you do that, along with information sheets and bookmarks that you can print when we actually open up to users again. So if you need help with that, certainly feel free to reach out to me. I would be really excited to see, as many people as possible to get the word out about the great resources that the Wisconsin Digital Archives provides and the great work that's being done by all of the libraries I work with. And that is actually all that I have today. And I think I just fit into my 15 minutes. Does anybody have any questions? Well, great. My door is completely open. If you are finding anything online that you want added to the Wisconsin Digital Archives or evaluated for adding, please don't be shy. Collection development is always tricky, and sometimes it takes a community of people to be able to get all the best stuff found and archived and cataloged. So that's my ask from you, and certainly spread the word about this great resource, and let me know if I can be of any help in providing access to government information in general. Thank you.